What are the top alternative cryptocurrencies to buy that will give you a whole lot of return on investment, especially in the next coming 1 to 2 years? Obviously, we have quite a lot of cryptocurrencies that have been listed on this particular website, and sometimes it is very, very overwhelming to make a selection. So this is one of the reasons why I will be showing you a few cryptocurrencies that you might consider getting, and then just basically doing your own due diligence and making your own sound decision. So without further ado, we are going to be looking at VeChain, Algorand, Tezos, Nano, Ravencoin. Of course, there are plenty other cryptocurrencies that already have a large potential, but obviously we are going to be doing it on a weekly basis, and we're going to be analyzing these different cryptocurrencies. So in case I miss one of those cryptocurrencies that you have on your portfolio, please do not get upset at me. Just drop it in the comment section below. And you also have to understand that this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Whatever you do, please do your own due diligence. With that said, first of all, I just have to be honest with you, because right now is not really the most appropriate time to be buying a whole lot of these cryptocurrency projects, because the market cap, or rather the altcoins, or even the whole entire cryptocurrency market is a little bit overvalued. Now, I understand dollar cost averaging is the winning strategy, but hey, what if you can dollar cost average at a better price? Okay, so if you take a look at this particular chart, right, we are looking at the crypto total market cap excluding BTC. So this is basically the altcoin total market cap. Okay, so if you take a look at all this, right, if you look at a whole lot of different indicators, you can see that we are obviously headed to the downside because we are a little bit overvalued on larger time frames. So we're looking at the weekly time frame, right? If you look at the MACD, running out of momentum, and we are obviously going to have some, black swan event which is going to happen in the next coming few weeks. So if we take a look at the monthly is showing us that we are a little bit on the overbought territory, and having a little bit of a correction is the most appropriate thing that is obviously going to happen if you take a look at the highest probable situation to occur. So this is one of the reasons why I am saying that you have to be sort of doing your research right now, and you're supposed to be adding coins to your to buy list, if I can put it that way, because right now if you end up buying, we might have a situation where we have a price correction, and then your value in terms of dollars is going to be reduced, and you don't really want to do that. So I just wanted to put that out there, because by the end of the day, I really want you to make decisions at the right time. So right now we are a little bit overvalued, and we've got a higher probability of having a little bit of a correction. So if you really want to dollar cost average, just wait for the most appropriate time when we have like a black swan event, or a day where a lot of these altcoins are really going to drastically drop, right? That's when you can start dollar cost averaging. Okay, so first of all, let's look at VeChain. VeChain has got a market cap of about 491 million US dollars, and the 24-hour volume is outstanding, 211 million US dollars. So if you look at the circulating supply in comparison to the total supply, right, obviously there is a significant discrepancy right over there. So I would be very, very careful in terms of holding VeChain long term, because it hasn't been fairly distributed, and there is a situation whereby the market, or rather the people who own quite a lot of VeChain, right? So obviously the remaining VeChain is obviously still out there, and there might be a situation where they might end up pouring it onto the market, or rather offloading it onto the market, and then you don't really want to have situations where you end up bag holding. So if I were you, right, I would obviously be strategic in terms of when to buy and when to sell, especially when it comes to selling. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why you have to be extremely careful. Next, altcoin season. Okay, you have to be very strategic in terms of getting out, because by the end of the day, these cryptocurrencies usually tend to go back to their initial prices, and you don't want to end up being stagnant. Okay, so looking at this current market cap, right, 491, obviously we have 5x to 10x potential right over here, but I would just say, you know, a 2 billion market cap is very, very feasible. So I'm not really going to go into VeChain because there's a lot of information out there. So these guys are basically trying to tackle the supply chain industry, especially due to the fact that there's a lot of you know, there's lack of transparency in supply chain. So this is a very helpful industry, but personally I really think that blockchain is way too early to start dealing with you know, tackling these issues, because at the moment we are still striving for adoption. So right now we just need to make sure that we've got adoption, and cryptocurrencies are used, or rather accepted, as a formal type of payment system. So once we attain adoption and scalability, then all these other niches such as you know, supply chain system, financial niches, all these can be obviously next. So right now obviously it is still a good investment, but I just really think that the niche they're trying to go for, I think it's a little bit too early. But regardless, they have quite a lot of amazing partnerships in the pipeline. I was seeing what they have, and these guys are super busy, so that is very, very good. So I'm obviously going to be looking forward to buying a little bit of VeChain a little bit later at the most appropriate time. So it's actually on my to buy list. Now the next one is a very good one. Algorand, it obviously got released not at the most appropriate time. It got released like during the bear market. So this thing hasn't really had the chance to perform extremely well. So this is one of the reasons why I really think Algorand is really going to be one of those cryptocurrencies that are really going to end up propelling, because it has a lot of good people on its team. If you look at the, you know, the founder or the face of Algorand, he's a genius. Okay, I'm not even going to go into that. And just like I told you, the circulating supply and the total supply are totally different. So obviously this thing is going to end up being like Ripple after next altcoin season, because a lot of institutional investors, a lot of people who are, or rather who bought Algorand at extremely cheap prices during its initial coin offering, these people are going to be dumping and offloading it. So this is one of the reasons why you have to be extremely strategic in terms of you know, keeping Algorand, especially for the long term. So whenever we have that altcoin season, boom, just get out and just sell everything, and then just buy back later, because you know it's going to come back down crashing, just like Ripple did. And then, you know, since there's a large discrepancy between the total supply and the circulating supply, right, obviously you know that it's going to take quite a little bit of time for it to go back up, but you can still make money on the way up. You can still, you know, make some decent gains out of here. And if you take a look at the market cap, 177 million US dollars. Obviously if we reach 2 billion or even 1 billion, that's like already a 10x or roughly around an 8x return on your investment, which is very, very good. So I'm obviously going to be looking into that. Now Tezos is one of those cryptocurrencies that is extremely you know, overvalued for its current market cap, according to the current you know, market situations right now. Having a 1.9 billion US dollars at today's current market environment can be deemed to be a little bit you know, overvalued, if I can put it that way. But anyway, there's obviously more room to grow. There's obviously a ton of things happening with Tezos, and yeah, I would love to find out the total circulating supply, because it doesn't really indicate what the total circulating supply is, because I assume there's obviously a maximum cap in terms of the circulating supply. So the volume is very compelling, 123 million US dollars, which is very, very good. So obviously if I had to choose between Algorand and VeChain, right, I would obviously limit the amount of you know, Tezos that I would be investing in comparison to these other cryptocurrencies such as Algorand and VeChain, because they are having a slight lower valuation. So obviously it's a no-brainer that these cryptocurrencies are obviously going to give you more returns in terms of Tezos, which has got a 1.9 billion US dollar market valuation. So anyway, moving on to Nano. Now Nano is my favorite cryptocurrencies because I really love the fact that Nano only has the maximum circulating supply, and the circulating supply is totally the same. So there's obviously fair distribution of Nano coins out there, and this is extremely important due to the fact that there isn't quite a number of players that already have like a bigger advantage in terms of taking advantage of the market. So there is a fair distribution of Nano coins, so you obviously stand a higher chance of making quite a lot of money due to the fact that you are able to time the market and just basically jump in at the most appropriate time, and then you've got like equal or rather lesser chances of being dumped on because the coins have been fairly distributed. So that's also a very big important factor, especially when it comes to picking the type of investments that you're going to be spending quite a lot of money on, especially due to the fact that that uneven distribution of funds or rather coins can get to disadvantage you, if you know what I mean. So obviously getting to look at the market cap, 139 million US dollars. Volume is a little bit underwhelming. It's only about 8.4 million US dollars, but it is understandable. But during the height of the next bull run, right, obviously people are going to be looking for cheaper cryptocurrencies, and Nano is a feeless type of cryptocurrency, and obviously the fees are going to be high for BTC, Ethereum, plus a whole lot. So people are going to be speculating. And then Nano is just one of those cryptocurrencies that is always a better alternative because it is very appealing. Who doesn't really want to have feeless transactions, okay? But of course, Nano has got flows and all that good stuff. It usually gets attacked, and then there's always a compromise when it comes to Nano. But when it comes to investing in Nano and getting those return on investments, is one of the easiest cryptocurrencies that you can ever get to make money on. So you just rinse and repeat. I remember last time Nano went as high as $28, but if you look at the current price, it's only about $1. So you've got like an easy 28x return on your investment if you are patient enough. So Nano is obviously a no-brainer for me. I'm obviously going to be speculating on it heavily. Not financial advice. So yeah, moving on to the next one, Ravencoin. Now Ravencoin is also slightly appealing as well, even though it is still being mined. It has got 21 billion maximum supply, and right now there's only about 6.4 billion Raven which is out there. So this is one of the reasons why, if you guys are into mining, you can look at Ravencoin. It's just one of those cryptocurrencies that usually tends to perform very well, and a lot of people usually end up making money, and fundamentally it has got really decent backing, and the type of things that they have going on is also very overwhelming as well, and it is very, very good as well. So I'm not really going to dive deep. This is one of the reasons why you have to be responsible for your type of investments, and you have to do your own research. So I'm just pointing you in the right direction and saying, okay, if you are looking for alternative cryptocurrencies to diversify your portfolio, then you might want to look in this direction. Then by the end of the day, you make the final decision. You make the ultimate decision with regards to what you are going to be investing in. So anyhow, that's all I had to say to you for today. Moral of the story is we are going to have a very good significant correction in terms of in terms of BTC, in terms of altcoins, because the stock markets are shaky right now. So if you really want to dollar cost average, don't rush to jump in now, because there are going to be better prices. So just be patient. Perhaps in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to see like a significant drop in value of all these alternative cryptocurrencies, and really getting to start dollar costing averaging right then. When that happens, when we have that significant drop, that's going to give you better chances to score big and just make bigger returns on your money, because you are getting the prices at very cheap cheap and affordable prices. It's been your boy Muna, aka Beyond 10x. Please let me know in the comment section below what other cryptocurrencies do you want me to take a look at. And by the way, big shout out to Moshad Bokini. Yeah, he just joined my Patreon. So basically on Patreon, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how basically you can be able to like fish for yourself and just make crazy amount of returns on your investment. I'm going to be telling you all the secrets that I have learned in the past few years, all right? Because it took me a long time to obviously become a successful trader and a profitable trader. So basically I'm going to be giving you all these market sentiments. I'm going to be sharing with you very important tips and tricks, and perhaps I'm going to be looking at a few secret coins that I'm going to be investing in. But anyhow, big shout out to Moshad Bokini. Thank you very much for supporting me on Patreon. So looking forward to having you guys as well. So take care, be good, and talk to you a little bit later. Bye.